Hello people and welcome to the Action Figure Atorium. My name is Mark Major. I'm a real big toy collector here in Southeast Portland. Let's get some production value. Look, it's just like a real show, isn't it? Anyways, recently there has been this kind of bubbling on the surface of toy collectors regarding mech toys. Duarte Studios, he's a customizer, his name's Duarte. And he has been teasing a 1/12 mech. I actually got to see it on a 3POA podcast live stream. Also, for those of you who follow the adventures of Bobby Vala and the Valaverse, you know that he has been teasing that he's going to go into production at some point, maybe, with a 1/12 mech, specifically for his Action Force line of 1/12 military guys. And so he's been collecting all the different mechs that are available and showing them off. He's done not one but two episodes on his channel. The one that most recently came out, he looked at that Mezco Gomez mech, you know, the one for $400. And that was kind of an interesting take that he had on it as well. He showed off some things that I wasn't quite expecting or wouldn't have thought to look at. So you might want to dig that video out and check it out. I myself am a collector of used action figures, vehicles, and playsets, and the majority of my stuff comes from thrift stores where I pay very little money for these things, and it allows me to have a whole collection, an Atorium, as it were, of all this kind of cool, crazy, wacky stuff that I haven't really got a whole lot of money into. So what I thought might be kind of fun, since people have mentioned that they do enjoy when I do these kind of show and tell tours of things in my collection, such as where I demonstrated all the different Dragon action figures that have existed throughout the last, 20, 30 years or so, that this might be kind of fun to show off some mechs, and that way you guys can see if it's something that you're interested in. Maybe you're inspired to track these down and buy them. Maybe it's something you use right out of the gate in your photography or your dioramas, or maybe it's something that you figure you can work with. You can kit bash it, you can customize it. Yeah, some of these are going to take a little bit of work, but you can make them work. And so this is going to be kind of a show and tell inspirational video today. I hope everyone can join me for this. Strap on the leather, hold on tight. I have to say out of the gate that none of these mechs are specifically designed for 6-inch figures, 1/12 scale guys. Most of them are going to work with minifigures 1/24 scale like Mini-Mates, as well as 1/18 scale figures, your sort of standard, vintage collection, old school G.I. Joes, Marauder gun runners, 21st century toys, military guys, that kind of thing. And so we're going to, there we go, check it out. We have some guys here assembled for scale just to show off. Now, a few of these mechs I'm going to show you today could be modded. You could mod the cockpits to take it from a 1/24 scale, like the little Mini-Mates there, up to a 1/18 scale. In some cases, you may be able to, with surgical scalpel, you may be able to take some of the 1/18 scale figures and turn them into 1/12, but it is not an easy road, and I am not really particularly pushing that angle. I'm just here to show you what I have collected. So let me go over to the bench and start dragging this stuff out so you guys can see exactly what we're talking about. Okay, so let me show you something here. I'm going to strike these guys. We're going to clear this. Okay. Now, here is something. Let me strip this dude down first. This is kind of a weird thing to start with, but this guy is from the dollar store. He is a 1/18 scale dude. And I've given him a little bit of a paint job. He comes green. I've made him sort of kind of, he's kind of now like an American guy. For another $1.25, there's a kit you can get that turns him into a mech. let me assemble this for you. You can see there's a part that straps onto the top, and it actually raises on the figure, right? See that? And lowers, and you can attach a Gatling gun on the side and a rocket launcher on the other side. Both of these come with the guy, right? Then you can start putting on some arm attachments that allow you to put a gun on it, one on each side. There is also a little hand attachment that not only goes into the arm attachment, but it has a handle that goes into his hand. So it's been designed to do that. Then of course there are some legs. Now the legs have little pegs that go into the holes on the guy. If you were to buy just the kit and you wanted to put it on one of your action figures, you would have to do a little bit of tweaking, but I think you can make it work. And of course there's like a little pack. Whoa, hot potato. There's a little pack that goes on the back of the dude, and there's also like a little some of these you just have to snap it in, and if they keep falling, you can always use a little bit of that white Elmer's glue on it, but you don't really need to. Okay, so there's like a little backpack that goes on there, and there's a little canister that goes on top of it. So this guy, right out of the gate, and I gave him a little kind of a cool paint job, right? Not the best example when he's falling apart, but I wanted to show you that you can build this dude. Okay, so right out of the gate, you get kind of a cool looking mech dude, right? And $2.50 at retail for this guy. And you can put guns in his hands, and there's a whole bunch of extra holes on the arms, so you can put more on the shoulders and the arms and the legs, so you can move the guns around. Anyways, I should probably take some cool pics of this dude at some point in the future and post them. I just want to show that the dollar store has mechs, and you would be surprised what you can find there. All right, so let's just kind of put that guy over there. He's cool. Now, where to begin? Let's do an honorable mention. Does anybody remember the Transformers? Okay, so this is a, let's see if we can get the camera to focus up on this guy. This dude is from a long time ago. He is a what's called a headmaster. That is, you would transform him, and then he would actually have a little dude inside, right? And you're thinking, well, that's not really a mech, that's a transformer. I am going to beg to differ, because if you were to put a possum, such as this, inside of it, right? I think that, my friends, is a possum mech. And, you know, it does possum face, makes that hissing sound. Look at that. That is a 10 out of 10, people. Okay, honorable mention. Just saying that the Atorium has a lot of stuff. Okay, some of you guys know about Exo Squad. I think these have been shown off before. They made a lot of these mechs, and for the most part, they fit kind of a 3.75 guy. It's a little kind of tight, I gotta be honest with you. The smaller the dude, the easier it is, but they make them so that, right, the guy's feet go in there, and his limbs bend with the limbs on the mech, and he will actually go in, the arms will go into here, into there, and this will actually fold down, and you get a little bit of wingage there on this guy. This is a one that you see all over the place. This is probably the most popular. I got this at a thrift store. It does have the fuel cell in the back, right? But these guys are on eBay, lots of them, and they're a lot cheaper than you think. So if you're a 3.75 guy, you can get this kind of stuff, and there's a lot of mechs to choose from. This is just the one that I happen to have picked up. Got it at a thrift store, was gonna get rid of it, figured, why bother? Okay, some other things that you probably aren't thinking of. How about this? So this is something I repainted, and it doesn't have much articulation to it other than, you know, it's got these arms that move on it, and these antenna, and I painted it up to look like it's some kind of a steampunk thing, right? And you're probably thinking, well, that's not really a mech. Well, it has a little door in the back, and you could put like a little kitty cat in there. So this could be a kitty cat thing. Anyways, this is from the world of SpongeBob SquarePants. And these actually, for some weird reason, go for a lot of money on eBay. I do not know why. I do not know what is up with this, but I have an alert, and every once in a while, if one comes along for, say, 10 bucks, I buy it because when you repaint them, they look pretty cool. So that's also kind of an honorable mention. I know you're thinking, this is a really weird show. Don't worry, we're getting into some good stuff here. Now, a few underwater mech type stuff. This is made by Chatmai or Leonard. I don't know which, doesn't matter. I kind of consider them both to be the same. But you can put a 3.75 dude in this. It's like an underwater kind of suit, and he's got like, you know, these sort of blowers on it and a camera and, you know, a tank, that kind of thing. And I think we'll take our, and this is a 21st Century Toys 3.75 military guy. I picked him because the legs bend on him, right? And he's got like kind of the cool cap, and you see the dude goes right in there. He looks kind of cool, right? And close him up, and you can actually see him in there. This would be cool if you're doing some type of photography, underwater photography. I don't know how airtight this is, but you could make it airtight if you wanted to. You could seal it. You could put a gasket or something on it. So this guy is pretty cool. And again, this is either your Leonard or Chatmai underwater, you know, sea suit, okay? Something similar. Now check this out. This is actually comes from Jurassic World, right? Look at this thing. This is a giant underwater kind of two-man sub with these mechanical arms. You get a saw blade that rotates. You get a pinching device that works. These things have articulation to them. If you look, you can see that there is, it's a two-seater. So if you're into like Roblox or Minimates, you get these guys. And by the way, these little dudes that I'm putting there, these are actually from the movie Alien. So they come with these cool spacesuits that make them look like they're pilots. But this is pretty awesome, right? And also, when you close it up, there's a button on top. And it actually activates a little blue light. So you could put this thing in a kind of an underwater scene, and you could light these dudes with it. Now, I talked about modding stuff. 3 screws, people. 3 screws hold in this little ring in here that has the cockpit with all the controls and stuff. You could take this out. That would allow you to put a 3.75 guy in there. Now, could you get a 6-inch dude? Would this guy fit? By the way, this is from the Whoosh. They had a sale on this dude. He was $3.99. You should probably subscribe to their Instagram or their Twitter account, because they will announce sales for $3.99, and it's definitely worth getting a, you know, kind of a ninja dude. This guy, for most part, will not fit in here. You might be able to get a better articulated dude or a smaller dude if you took this out to fit in here. Be pretty close. Just depends on the guy. But I'm just letting you know that this thing exists, okay? And it used to have some sort of pieces. Remember, I got this at a thrift store. Some sort of pieces that went in here, some kind of tanks that made it kind of floatable. So there's that. Now, something very similar to that is this. This is from Mattel 2007. I don't know the exact line. It's basically kind of the same thing I just showed you, but a smaller version, a one-man version of that. And it's like just a cool little underwater sort of mech sub that, again, you throw your, you know, your mini-mates in there. And it's a cool looking little ship for this guy. And I think it's worthy of the title of mech, or at least worthy of being in the show and tell of the tour, okay? So we'll put that over there. Now, let's keep going. This came out a couple years ago. What is this? This is actually from a playset known as Spider-Man and Friends Underwater Webs. This is a Doc Ock suit, and the whole back opens up, and you can put a 3.75 dude in there. You cannot get this guy in there, per se, but you could get kind of close. With some modding, you could maybe make it work. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm saying it just depends how dedicated you are. If you have a slightly smaller guy, you can get him in there. Now, the funny thing about this was I picked it up. It was $2. I didn't even realize it was Doc Ock because I saw it only had 6 of these arms. You know, if it's Doc Ock, he's going to have 8. Little did I know that I'm missing 2. So if you were looking for one of these, make sure that you get them with the full set, because without these 2 in the back, it will not stand up, right? So I'm going to have to figure out some kind of mod to make this work, but this might be the kind of thing that is really fun to customize and repaint because they can't be that expensive, and you got to be able to find these everywhere. Let's throw this guy back over there. Okay, now let's get to some of the bigger dogs in the room. We got 3 more mechs to go. Check this out, right? I'm going to have to crane up a little bit here. This is Microsoft 2022. This is from one of their games, I think maybe Titanfall 2. This is a mech that they make. By the way, look at this. $5 at the Goodwill by my house. Now, a couple things about this. It's kind of cheap. It feels kind of rickety. Some of the joints, you're not sure if they move or not, and there's a possibility of breaking them. If this thing falls over, there's a good chance that something, one of these little parts, these little fins or flippers, is going to break off of it, right? Also, it doesn't have any hands. It's just got these sort of limbs with weapons coming out of them, right? This weird machine gun thing and this weird rocket launcher. However, it does have a little cockpit in it, which is particularly dumb because there is no glass window to see the figure through. So if you wanted to do some modding, you definitely start, you know, get out your hot knife and start cutting it in. Fits a 3.75 guy. However, you could put your 6-inch guy, see this, he fits in there, as long as you don't close the hatch. So if you took the hatch off and you put your dude in there and he just rode where he's sticking out kind of like a commander in a tank, right? You've definitely got a possibility for a mech for one of your 1/12 guys. Again, just remove this. Maybe you get like a little windshield for him. Maybe make like some kind of a little armor screen. This thing can definitely hunt if you're doing toy photography. And I get the feeling that if you look for these on eBay, they're probably pretty cheap, right? Because I don't think anybody really wants them. Now, shall we keep going? Okay, here is one of the things that you've probably seen recently. These are cheap mechs made by Chatmy. They come in these sort of packs for about $30 and opens up and you can put a dude in it. Here, where's my 21st Century Toys? So this is what this guy looks like when he's inside of it. Okay, and then flips down and you can see him. This is something that is totally cheap cheese ball. You can see like inside the legs are all hollowed out. It's very sort of sturdy plastic for kids to play with. It's not brittle and going to break like that Microsoft thing that I just showed you. You could probably pop this screen out and put something else in there if you wanted to. Put in your own gels or whatever. Not expensive, you know, nets or something like that. Could you get the 6-inch guy into this? Now, I think I saw that someone modded one of these and got it in. You would have to cut away part of this so that the feet could go in there. But if you could get the feet in, right? If you could get the feet in this, you could kind of put a dude in this. So this has the potential to be modded to 1/12 scale, and it would be pretty cool, and it'd be pretty cheap. I got this, I actually bought this off of eBay for 20 bucks with shipping. I'm pretty sure you could probably get them for even cheaper if you go to like one of those, wherever they sell them at Costco. You know, this with the other mech for 30 bucks, plus comes with some figures. Also, you get some lights, there's some guns. Machine gun sounds, okay. So we got that. Now, another one that you can get is this. Look at this thing. This I also paid 20 bucks with shipping. It came from Canada. Now, it's got the cockpit for the dude, right? It's got arms, and the arms have hands. The fingers have no articulation. Don't think you're getting some fancy doodad, right? But it's lightweight. If it falls over, it will not break, okay? It's easy to find. really easy to customize and repaint. You can also, in addition to putting a guy, a 3.75 guy in there, you could also have a guy who rides in the back, which is kind of cool, and he hangs onto these two like little ports. But check this out. Here's what you need to know about this. When you turn it on, okay, we'll switch in the back, and you hit the button, it actually walks. It makes noise, shoots, anyways, how do you guys not already have one of these? How do you not know this exists? This is probably the coolest thing out there. Again, could you mod it for the 1/12 scale guys? If you kick out this thing, right? And by the way, you can probably find these things missing the cockpit. So if you're going to get rid of this, you're going to get them cheaper. So you get rid of this and you put your dude in there, right? You situate your guy in there, you carve away so his head can fit in there, and his legs will kind of stick out, but then you can build a little something around it, a little structure around it. So this, and there you get to see the size of them, right? Here's next to our Kung Fu dude. Remember, got this guy from the Fwoosh. Next to our 21st Century Toys, which if you don't know about them, you should. Here's the big dog in the back, okay? Here is, you know, maybe you have like a little Mini-Mates guy piloting this. He could be in that too. That's a giant mech. Mini-Mate's kind of underrated in my opinion. So that is a look at some of the mechs in my collection. I technically have one more which I failed to dig out, and I don't think it's really worth it. It is it has no articulation other than you can put a dude in it. It is from Titanfall 1. And you can find, if you do a search for those, you can find those on the eBays, but they are just something that you would repaint. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about a couple things that you can get. Now, first of all, let's look at this. I mentioned Duarte Studios. Here is a shot of the mech that he is working on. This is a 1/12 scale mech, and I saw it on a live stream in which he actually was able to fold it up and it turned into like a little car that could drive around. So check out his site, right? He has myshopify.com. Duarte Studios. Sign up for his newsletter and see when he is going to go into production making these, how many he's going to make, what he's going to charge. This might be the dog that hunts for you. Also, for the 3.75s, I have to mention Marauder Gun Runners, okay? They have a section on exo suits, and you go through here, and there's a bunch of these sort of weapons and stuff for it, little claws and antennae, and here there are complete suits. They're kind of like that dollar store dude that I showed you, where the suits are, you know, like they strap onto the legs and the guy puts it on, and you know, you can get them for 15 bucks, or for $27 you get it with all the fixins. He's got the claws and the arms and the jetpack wings and all that sort of stuff. Get them in different colors: green, yellow, white, blue, silver, red, all that kind of stuff. Paint them yourself. That's what I like to do. A lot of fun when you have the ability to do your own kit bashing and mods. So this has been a quick down and dirty show and tell of just some garbage mechs that I've picked up over the years that I think are pretty cool, especially if you're into the 1/24th and the 1/18th. And again, as I demonstrated, if you are comfortable with some type of a cutting tool, like a hot knife, to cut away and enlarge the cockpit so that you can accommodate either the legs, right, of these figures or their heads. Remember, some of these guys are very, very close to being able to squeeze in there. So if you have guys that are particularly articulated or a little bit smaller, they might go into some of these mechs, no problem. But check them out on your own and see if it's something that you want to get into, okay? So before I go, I just want to let everybody know that there is a giveaway on the channel. and I will post a link to it in the description. It runs until the 15th. It is a YouTube video, and to enter, all you got to do is leave a comment. It is that easy. On the 15th, I will award the giveaway. It is celebrating the Action Figuratorium gaining 1,000 subs. That's right, 1,000 subs, everybody. So with that, thanks to everybody who made it this far in the video. As always, stay charged.